So guys, let me ask you something. WWE just came off of WrestleMania 42 weekend. 106,000 people maybe across 2 nights. You guys can fact check me on that. It's 2 nights of 50,000, so around that. 2 nights at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. They're calling it one of the highest grossing events in company history, probably because you double charged them all. Raw was on Netflix the following week, the following day, continuing their 10-year deal worth $5 billion. They had record merchandise that week, record attendance, which is not really true if you compared it to last year, but they did have record revenue. WWE alone generated, now as of 2025, $1.7 billion. The question is though, with all that money, where is it going? So where is the money going? Because we've just got released a federal document, and I have it here, about the publicly traded company, which is TKO. And it was filed with the SEC, and here are all the receipts. So let's strap in. Welcome to the T-Drop. Strong brew, no soft behavior. Here's what we're getting into this video. I'm going to do my best to walk you through exactly what TKO Group Holdings, which is the parent company of WWE and the UFC, paid its 3 most powerful executives in the year of 2025. And it's obviously not a rumor, because these are not part of a dirt sheet or whatsoever. These are actual numbers from an actual document. Schedule 14A to be exact. From the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, we're going to look at Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro, and Nick Khan. We're going to put those numbers next to the revenue WWE generates, next to what the average TKO employee makes, and next to what WWE performers, for the most part, are actually getting paid as a share of the business they're building. And if you watch my Nick Khan video earlier in the previous days, I already laid out the groundwork of his role and his business model when it comes to WWE, the 3 R's. This is, at this point, the next layer, and we're going to go a little deeper. So let's get into this. Before we get into the numbers, though, I want to make sure we're all working from the same foundation, because we're going to do our best not to speculate. We're here to show the document. Now, if you guys haven't looked at it, you can definitely search for it on the internet. It is a proxy statement, specifically an SEC form, DEF. It is a filing that every publicly traded company is required to submit. It gives shareholders the information they need to vote at an annual meeting. And inside this document, every year, they have to disclose executive compensation to the dollar. So as I said, this isn't a rumor, and it isn't a tip. This is TKO Group Holding telling the federal government in a legally certified document exactly what they paid their top people in 2025. So we're going to read through this and go through the snippets. For the first part, let's start with number 1, the numero uno man, Ari Emanuel, the executive chair and CEO of TKO Holding Group. What's cool about this document, it does give you a list of the director's position. They tell you their current position, their age, how long they've been serving. So of course on the top is Ari Emanuel, who is the executive chair and chief executive of TKO. You have Mark Shapiro, who's the president and chief operating officer of TKO. Then there's other people we might not be aware of, probably work in other sides of TKO that are not related to WWE, but a name that obviously pops up is Dwayne Johnson, who is a director at TKO. And of course, somewhere down the line, you see Nick Khan, who is a director, but is also the president of WWE. Now, and they also list their position, how long they've been doing, what their stuff, and so on. But it's not important for our case, because all we want to know is, dude, how much you got paid? So for 2025, total compensation for Ari Emanuel, we are talking $67.4 million. And here's how the total of 67, to be exact, 67,361,782. But here's how it breaks down, because I want you to see how compensation at this level actually works. It's not just the salary. of these people. $3 million is his base salary. So that's the first column. That's his base salary. Then there's a bonus of $11.9 million. And that's an in-cash bonus. Almost, if you round it, $44 million in stock awards. Then he has $88.1 million in what they call is a non-equity incentive plan compensation. Now, for context, in 2024, Emmanuel made $18.1 million. In 2025, it's now $67.4 million. That is a 272% increase year over year. Where in the hell does someone go from 18 million to 67 million in 12 months while their company is cutting talent the next day or skyrocketing ticket prices because they need to make up money? Because I guess, sponsors isn't enough. But how is it that Ari Emanuel went from 18 million to 67 million in 12 months? We're going to get there. Just keep that number in your head for now. Let's go to number 2, Mr. Mark Shapiro. Now, as I said, he is the president and chief operating officer of TKO. You might know who he is. He's for the most part, they've shown him here and there at almost every major event. He's one of the most visible faces of the company outside of the on-screen talent. His 2025 total compensation is $42.6 million. That is with him having a base salary of in 2025 of $4 million with a bonus of $12 million with stock awards of $25.8 million. He didn't get a non-equity incentive compensation plan. Apparently that's only being given to Ari Emanuel. Let's go to number 3, our boy Nick Khan. Now, as I said, I did a full breakdown of him and how he goes about a few days ago. If you haven't seen that, maybe I'll put the card in the description for you guys to take a look. But please definitely take a look because it is very important so you understand how he goes about business. Or at least that's how he told us. So I'm not assuming. I'm taking the information from what he said at these conferences. So his number hits different once you know the full picture. So that's why I'm saying watch that video. That's layer 1. This is layer 2. Nick Khan, the president of WWE, his 2025 compensation. Nick Khan had a total compensation in 2025 of $24.3 million. He has a $2 million in his base salary, $11 million in stock awards, and I need you to pay attention to how those bonuses break down because this is where it gets really interesting. $7 million for WWE's financial performance, $3.7 million for and I'm quoting the proxy, successful launch of a boxing related business, which he did talk about at the sports conference, Zuffa Boxing. Nick Khan got almost $4 million in bonus money for helping TKO launch Zuffa Boxing. That's a whole separate conversation, but it tells you exactly how they're valuing the business moves being made right now. Let me do this math out loud together because it's going to help the next different stories we talk about going forward. Ari Emanuel, like I said, $67.4 million. Mark Shapiro, $42.6 million. Nick Khan, $24.3 million. 3 people, 1 company in 1 calendar year made that money. That is $134 million between 3 men. WWE generated $1.7 billion in revenue in 2025. That's what's recorded in this document from SEC. An $11 million increase over 2024. Netflix deal is already flowing through their media rights numbers. WrestleMania 42 drew 164 people over 2 nights. One of the highest grossing events, according to them, in company history. WWE's, and they call it the EBITDA margins, cross 50% for the first time ever. TKO as a whole pulled in $0.7 billion in total revenue and $546 million in net income. Business, as Triple H will say, has never been better. So where is this money going though? Part of it, $134 million of it, went to 3 executives in 1 year. And look, 2 things can be true at the same time. TKO can be thriving as a business, and the way that revenue flows inside the company can still be a legitimate question worth examining. I'm not here to villain cast anyone out of these 3. I'm here to just follow the numbers based on this document. The proxy statement buries one other number in it, and I want you to hear it. The median TKO employee in 2025 earned $82,428. Now that's the midpoint. Half the employees at TKO might be making less than that. And that is important. That number explicitly excludes WWE and UFC performers and talent. The wrestlers aren't even in this calculation. So what are the performers making then? Court filing from the WWE merger shareholder lawsuit, which were made public earlier this month, revealed that WWE paid talent approximately 15% of company revenue. Now, to compare to other companies or other sporting groups, the NFL players receive 50% of designated revenue. The NBA, around 50%. Even the WNBA, who's been going back and forth about their salary, under its new CBA, is pushing towards 20%. But WWE, 15%. With no union, no collective bargaining agreement, wrestlers are classified for the longest time as independent contractors, meaning many are paying their own expenses out of pocket, travel, hotel, food, while they're doing their business, minus the catering, of course, anyway. So this is the problem, at least I can see from all this. But let me show you what 15% might look like against the 2025 numbers. 15% of WWE's $1.7 billion in revenue is approximately $255 million. Roughly 130 roster performers plus developmental talent that we have with NXT and Evolve. 3 executives got $134 million. All the wrestlers combined got roughly $245,000. I'm assuming. Yeah, $245,000. 3 people made approximately 52 cents for every dollar that every single performer on the roster earned combined. Now, I'm not telling you that's morally wrong. Executives at publicly traded companies, especially with performance-based stock compensation stuff, have always been paid that way. It's no hidden secret. That's how the system works in this country. But I am telling you, those are the numbers, and you should know them. Why not? Publicly traded company, we should know where all this money that fans are paying for are going towards. Because this is where I want you guys to understand. When a company's revenue goes up 22%, when its margin hits record highs, when it's positioning itself as a $10 billion global sports property, the question of who benefits from that growth and in what proportion is a fair question, especially from a fan base that is literally the product. Your eyeballs, your subscriptions through Netflix, ESPN Plus, the new Prime WWE Club thing, your WrestleMania, Subway, SummerSlam tickets, you are not separate from this story because you guys are all part of this story. So drop your take in the comments, guys. Do you think talent should be getting a bigger piece of this? Or maybe we should make sure we're using these proportions properly to not let staff go? Let me know below. Now, I said to hold that number in your head. Remember that number? $134 million, 3 executives, 1 year. Well, I'm going to tell you who got walked out of the door on the same week that we found this information, which will be in our next video. Don't forget, as always, if the T hit right, like and subscribe.